Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and as you can tell from a lot of my videos, my basement is sort of messy. And I've decided I'm going to clean it up, but at the same time, I've realized why it's messy, and that is because of how many bins I have going. So I'm going to bring you down here, and I want you to see this here. So right down here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The VermiBag's not going yet, so that'd be 7. And then up here, I have 8 in that bin. And then if I come around all the way over here, sorry about it, I'm trying not to make anybody dizzy, 9, right? So I have a ton of bins. I'm going to bring you back here. So I have a ton of bins. I have too many bins here. I've got a lot of bins, and I need to clean this up. So the first thing I want to talk about is the number of bins you have. As you can tell, I have way too many. It's now getting to the point where some of them are getting very neglected, especially as I've added the urban worm bag, and then I have the VermiBag Mini at the school, which I've put some food in and things like that. I'll hopefully have a video update at some point on that one. But I just have too many bins. And for those of you that start this, you might run into the same issue at some point. You're like, oh, well, 1 bin's not enough, and then you have 2, and then before you know it, you have 6 or something like that, and then it's too many. Or you have, your food that you're putting in, all these scraps, you're not putting in enough anymore, or you don't have enough to maintain that population, and you start having issues with your bins. And that has happened with me. I had 1 bin that just completely died. I have a video of it. It got lost in the stack of bins that I had at that time, and I just did not realize I was not taking care of it. I know a few people have hammered me on the videos, but you know what? I'm truthful. I make mistakes. I am human, just like everybody else. So I try not to have that happen, and hopefully these bins down here, I don't think I have any issues with these right now. I've been checking on them periodically, but they're starting to get very hard to manage them all. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to cut down my bins to probably 4 or 5 bins, not including the one that I have at the school. So it'll probably be this right here, the Max, the urban worm bag, and then my 2 large ones, the green 35-gallon that I have behind over here, and then my large yellow one here will probably be the bins that I have, and maybe I'll keep one of these Tupperware containers around just as a backup. Now, with that, I did want to bring something else up here, and that is, how many bins should you have? As you can tell, I have a lot. I don't feel 1 bin is quite right. I say that because I've had a bin die before. Imagine if you had all your worms in 1 bin. It's like putting all your eggs in 1 basket. If something goes wrong in that bin, you kill all your worms, the majority of them, you're back to square one, or you have to go order more. So I believe in having 2 bins. I actually have a backup to all of this at my parents' house, where that really large, 2 foot deep by 2 feet wide or long, and then also 4 feet long, the 2 by 2 by 4 bin that I have, and they maintain that one. So if anything happens to all of these bins here, I just walk over to their house or drive over, I should say, grab a whole bunch of worms, and I start right up again. It's no big deal. And the same thing has happened then, where there was one really cold winter where all their worms just froze to death. I mean, the bin was just completely a block of ice, and it seemed like nothing came back the next year, and I just took over, a couple pounds of worms, and that was it. But it didn't make it where, you have to buy a pound of worms at $30 a pound, and then you got to wait for them to build up back in population, things like that. So I do feel 2 bins is the right amount to start to have at the minimum, I want to say. Not because you might want more if you have smaller bins, or you might have a different type of system which requires more bins or something like that. Now with that, I do feel that these bag systems work really well. But I would still always have a backup, because you never know if something were to happen. Imagine if this one right here, something were to happen to this material, or, the animal digs through this and all of a sudden this bin is unusable, and the worms in it are gone. I can switch to one of these, or, temporarily, and then order another one. So there's things like that I don't think people realize. Like, I'm going to have to consolidate, but at the same time, I'm still going to have multiple bins. Now, as far as consolidating, I will probably dump one of these bins right into this VermiBag Max back here. So as an example here, I might take this one here, which looks very well consumed. Let me show you here. See, this looks really well consumed. It's a little bit muddy in there. Nice big worms. But actually, let me bring you over here so you can see this a little better. So Let me bring this down a little lower. So let me grab a glove here. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. But this is, this is an example of a bin that I've let sit because I want it to look like this. I don't want to have, it's muddy. Well, there's still stuff in here. I can see coffee grounds. But I mean, look at this. Look at all the worms in here. I mean, you can see there's tons of worms. They're really healthy. They're kind of big because it's a little bit muddy in here, or quite a bit muddy. Believe it or not, there's still no smell to this bin. I think it's because there is some stuff in here that keeps it aerated. But, I mean, it's very muddy. But I am going to have to figure out how to dry this out. So maybe I won't put this one in the VermiBag Max because it's a little bit too wet. But, this bin is done. It needs to be emptied. It needs to be, constantly, these bins like this, they need to be constantly emptied out. You can't just fold it over to one side and try to get everything to the other side. That's just not going to work very well. So, that's one thing you have to work with these bins, and that's why I recommend having more than one. Like this one right here is fine, but imagine if I had a leak in my house and this flooded and I had no idea. Everything in here would have died, right? And you want something to replace it. I don't like spending a lot of money on worms when, they multiply like crazy and I can easily get them out of my other bins. So just a suggestion, I think 2 bins is the right amount. I think you have something like this, then you have an urban worm bag or a VermiBag Max, or maybe 2 VermiBag Minis. I think that actually would work pretty well. They're kind of complementary at that point. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up on what I'm going to be doing here. I'm not going to show the videos, but I'm going to consolidate my bins. And I'm also going to probably take bins like this and try to dry it out. Because like this is a little bit more muddy than I thought. But I really want these to be nice, loose, granular pieces. And, this is not. It's a little bit too solid. It needs to be definitely more loose. And, I want to be able to have it flake away in my hand. So I'm going to be working on that in the coming weeks. I'll probably try to put out maybe a video instead of having my normal shot. I'm probably going to put out a compilation video that just sort of has all the different shots inside of it, so that way you don't have to watch multiple videos. But that's my plan right now. Is I'm going to get the VermiBag Max up and running. I'm going to probably empty out all of these totes right here, maybe keep one of them. But this will allow me to consolidate so I can get back into my cabinets. All these cabinets here to the side, these were all of these were blocked off by these pins, so I haven't been able to put anything away for really, unless I slid them around. I haven't really done anything for years. So that's my update for this week on my bins and how they're doing. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you can, please subscribe to my videos and my channel and like my videos. Thank you very much.